Hello again. In today's video, I'm going to be editing this bracketed image of about 4 different shots that I compiled together in a post-processing software. And that would just make a really nice detailed highlight from front to back and make a nice evenly lit exposure. So the image itself is of a recent shot I took at Quarry, one of my favorite locations to go to just all the time. And it's a nice little sunset kind of landscape composition with some foreground rocks, and it just has a beautiful golden hour light in the background in the sky. So without further ado, we're just going to get started here. Alright, so this is pretty much what the typical software I use. It's actually called Skylum Aurora HDR 2019, and it's a very powerful software. I love the way it just kind of works overall. You can compile, you can batch process images, you can even do single images, but I really don't see a use with that because I feel like Skylum Luminar does a much better job of doing it. Let's see here. So we got 4 images, different kind of exposures. Here's the, I guess you call it the middle, the even exposure at the 0, and then it's got 6 stops higher, 1.9 stops, and then there's also the negative. And as you can tell if you look at the thumbnails here, which is a nice part about before it really processes them, is that it shows you all these different thumbnails for however many images you got that you're just kind of cramming together here. So as you can tell, the darkest, the most underexposed one is one I exposed for the sky detail, and then the other ones just are quite the opposite. Obviously, they're a little more overexposed, at least in the sky. As you can tell, it's blown out, it's really white and kind of pale, and there's lack of detail and color. But I use those 3 exposures mainly to expose for the foreground detail, so that I can get that. So yeah, we got these 4 images here. I always set it to auto align just to make sure everything looks nice and clean, and it's got clean edges, because I've noticed before that if you don't do that, sometimes it creates this ghosting effect where it kind of everything gets misaligned, especially if there's, like, let's say there's a tree with like leaves blowing in one of the frames, and then there's one that's not and it's more static in the other. Maybe, let's say, as a result of the higher shutter speed. I've noticed that it can create that kind of weird, kind of hypnotic blur that, it's not really desirable, of course. But I don't see that being a problem in this image, at least, fortunately. So, there's also this other different settings you can do. So we got ghost reduction. It's kind of the same thing like I was just saying, but I'll typically put that one on anyways, and I'll keep the reference image at the middle exposure at 0. But just keep it there. Color denoise is set by default, so we'll just keep it on just because it was kind of low light, just kind of right after the golden hour, right after sunset. Kind of leaning more towards twilight with the lighting with chromatic aberration reduction. It's something I don't know. We'll turn it on, but it's not always required. So just hit create HDR here, and it's going to load the images. So. Yeah, Quarry is one of my favorite locations. I'm just gonna, while we wait for this, it shouldn't take too long, but Oaks is definitely one of my favorite spots, honestly. It's just a great place for sunrises, sunsets, just kind of getting to view them. You do a lot of great landscape shots there, as I feel like this one turned out to be. And I've had plenty more from this same day, and even previous days, fortunately. And then not only that, but just the wide open kind of expanse of the place and the landscape. Just brings in lots of different kind of, even larger birds, different kind of shorebirds, different kinds of smaller kind of waterfowl, and even different kinds of sparrows. And yeah, it's a great place that you could just get a variety of nature photography, and yeah, I really like it. So anyways, got the image here, and as you can tell, it looks pretty darn good. I mean, it's not too much to it. I think one apparent thing is I wanted to probably like boost and pump up the colors, or the exposure rather, in the foreground just a little bit, because you don't want to make everything too bright, obviously. And I just feel like it needs a little bit more to really just emphasize these rocks that I kind of have going on here in the kind of not really foreground, actually. It's more like middle ground. Now that I'm looking at it again, but yeah, I'd say that's the biggest thing. The good important detail compositionally is that I kept the horizon line not so much in the center, the middle of the image, and that's a good thing I would recommend that you do if you take nature photographs or any photographs in general is that you keep that horizon line somewhere higher or lower depending on which part of the composition you want to emphasize. So would you rather see more of the sky? Is that more interesting? Or is anything else, the foreground, middle ground, is that more interesting? So in this case, I mean, the sky was beautiful, don't get me wrong, but I wanted to show more of the foreground and put more of a sense of place with where these rocks were in the quarry, kind of, because I was just right here, kind of right in the middle of the expanse. So, but yeah, the lighting is gorgeous, as you can tell. It just kind of had, as you can see from the left side, was where the sunset kind of was. It's more warmer colors. And then you can see the smooth gradation to kind of the purple and magenta in the middle, and then just the blue on the right side. So, and then I also like how this tree line just kind of sways. It gets lower. It's lower on the left side, and it just kind of raises itself as it goes from the right. So, lots of nice kind of flows going here. It's like nice gradations, nice gradient lighting, nice everything. Just kind of looks, at least to me, pleasing, aesthetically pleasing. So. Anyways, enough rambling here. We're just gonna start editing this a little bit. HDR clarity over here. I'm just gonna pump that up a little bit. And then I think I'm gonna try a preset here just to experiment a little bit. See if it 100% with this bright landscape preset or look. Just looks really wide. It looks way too saturated. So it's definitely not my style here, but I think might do a little bit though. I'm not sure, because I don't want to make it too saturated and just too exciting. At least not, I like to keep colors mostly natural. I like to keep things looking pretty much how they did as is. So I feel like I'm already stretching it beyond its means by doing a bracketed shot like this. But in the moment, I was really kind of in a hurry because I was taking many different sunset compositions, and this happened to be one of them that I really liked. And I was just bracketing just to ensure I get all the different detail. So later on, like here, when I edit on the computer, I can just edit at my whim as I please. So, oops. No, I don't know if I'm gonna do that though. That's just it. See, like this. I mean, yeah, I'll keep it this, I guess, for now, but definitely need something else. I could do the shadows 100%, but then it's almost too much. I don't know. It almost, at least to my eye, it almost gets like a really unnatural look, and I'm not sure if I'm really kind of after that, but just do a little bit here, and then checking the histogram up here. Kind of got a nice mound here, and there's a lot of detail, exposed detail, as you can tell, because all these clippies on the right side, that means it's nicely even. So it's kind of got this nice mound of what would be considered underexposed, and then it kind of goes in the middle, and then there's a lot of highlights on the right side, which is really nice. And then, I failed to mention for my settings, so yeah, it's 4 images. They're at ISO 400. I was shooting with a 24mm prime wide angle lens, and then aperture of f14. So pretty simple as that. No filters, I don't believe, but let's do a details boost. This will be kind of like my sharpening. Just keep it a nice small 4. See, this looks pretty good. I like the kind of like the blue color cast that it kind of has over the middle and foreground. Because it's kind of this really, just the colors. I mean, it's just got this really alluring quality that I really like. But I don't know, sunsets are just love doing them. It's just love photographing them, love being around them. Just the colors and it's amazing how, because I was hiking around this particular day, it's super hot. There's beautiful blue skies, just puffy cumulus clouds, and I was shooting a few landscapes of that even. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it looked great, and I converted them to black and white, and it looked great. But it was just kind of like, I mean, it left a little bit to be desired. And throughout that day, before this, obviously, I was hoping for a nice sunset, or something of that sort. And luckily, I feel like I got it. I got a lot of different images like this, and other different compositions, verticals, different subjects, just within the quarry. And it's just amazing to see how the light and everything changes from like an hour ago, 2 hours ago, but like before this. And it's spectacular. Yeah, nature photography is just something so surreal, just how everything just kind of comes together like that, which, it's really just why I do it. I just love it. So, I mean, there's not too much to tweak, because I just feel like the artificial intelligence of like the software, it just kind of really, it works for itself really. I mean, it just kind of gets the job done. Let's just go crazy. Let's try like a crop. Not anything too crazy, but let's try something here. This might be what I need. This isn't something I like pre-visualized when I made the image, but now I'm thinking about it. Maybe 5x4. Once again, put in the comments what you think. Which one you like better. You know what? It's interesting, to say the least. I kind of like it. I mean, the big stack of boulders is kind of off-center, which. Let me quickly see what a 1-to-1 square crop would look like. Actually, might look better. And then it kind of. My only problem is then it kind of gets rid of the sky detail. Kind of lose that allure. Yeah, I'm not really feeling that, honestly. Not too much. This looks a lot better. I feel like because it gets you still that warm color on the left side that I was kind of going for. So yeah, I'm gonna raise the exposure just a little bit too. Maybe tone it down a little bit, just a little. I don't want to blow out any highlights on this, the orange part of the sky here, like it's starting to do. All right, I think that's it. So it's just a nice, quick little edit of this sunset landscape composition. So to export image, we're just going to title this something nice and easy, just to remember it by. So when I catalog and sort it, if I search for the image, we can find it easily. We'll just do Quarry sunset. Be QS, and we'll just call it 01. Typical settings as usual. Like previous videos, just nice simple JPEG, keep the resolution, no additional sharpening, sin resolution, color space, sRGB, quality is at 80%, export. And that's it, guys. So this has been a Quarry sunset image. It's a bracketed image I've been editing here. Hope you really enjoyed the video. Hope you learned a little bit of things. I didn't really cover too many different details about the software. There's probably other videos from other people that do that tons way better, but I just want to show you this quick little edit I did here of this bracketed shot. But I hope you enjoyed it, and then I'll put a link down in the description to the video where I actually took this photo, so you can watch that if you want and see just kind of in the moment out in the field reactions during the sunset, which is a great day for that. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a great day, and make sure to get out there and also edit your photos. So thank you.